In a small town, the patrolman was making his evening rounds. As he was checking a used car lot, he came upon two little old ladies sitting in a used car. He stopped and asked them why they were sitting in the car. Were they trying to steal it? Heavens no, we bought it, said the old ladies. Then why don't you drive it away? We can't drive. Then why did you buy it? We were told that if we brought a car here we'd get screwed. So we're just waiting. This guy walks into the bar and sees a gorgeous blonde sitting on the bar stool all alone. So the guy sits down next to her and pulls a small box from his pocket. He opens it and there's a frog inside. The blonde says he's cute, but does he do tricks? The guy says yes, he licks girls' cats. So after talking with her for several minutes, he convinces her to come with him to his apartment. They get there and she takes all her clothes off, gets into bed, and opens her legs. The guy sets the frog right between her legs and it just sits there not moving at all. The blonde says, "Well, what's up?" The frog still does not move. So the guy leans over to the frog and says, "Alright, I'm only going to show you how to do this one more time." A man returned home from the night shift and went straight up to the bedroom. He found his wife with the sheet pulled over her head, fast asleep. Not to be denied his marital rights, the husband crawled under the sheet and proceeded to make love to her. Afterward, he hurried downstairs for something to eat and was startled to find breakfast on the table and his wife pouring coffee. "How did you get down here so fast?" he asked. "We were just making love." "Oh my God," his wife gasped. "That's my mother up there. She came over and complained of having a headache. I told her to lie down for a while." Rushing upstairs, the wife ran to the bedroom. "Mother, I can't believe this happened. Why didn't you say something?" The mother-in-law huffed. "I haven't spoken to that a-hole for 15 years, and I wasn't about to start now." Physically large guy meets a woman at a bar, and after a number of drinks, they agree to go back to his place. As they are making out in the bedroom, ready for the act, he stands up and starts to undress. After he takes his shirt off, he flexes his muscular arms and says, "See there, baby? That's 100 pounds of dynamite." She begins to drool. The man drops his pants, strikes a bodybuilder's pose, and says, "See those, baby? That's 1,000 pounds of dynamite." She's aching for action at this point. Finally, he drops his underpants and she grabs her purse and runs screaming to the front door. He catches her before she's able to run out of the door and asks, "Why are you in such a hurry to leave?" She replies, "With 2,000 pounds of dynamite and such a short fuse, I was afraid you were about to blow." As an ultimate test of his willpower, a man decided to give up sex for Lent. Although not thrilled with the idea, his wife agreed to support him in this effort. The first few weeks weren't too difficult. Things got tougher during the next couple of weeks, so the wife wore her dowdiest night clothes and chewed on garlic before going to bed. The last couple of weeks were extremely tough on the husband, so the wife took to locking the bedroom door and forcing the husband to sleep on the couch. Easter morning finally came. A knock came on the wife's bedroom door. Knock, knock, knock. The husband says, "Guess who?" The wife answers, "I know who it is." The husband says again, "Guess what I want?" The wife says, "I know what you want." The husband answers, "Guess what I'm knocking with?" Bill worked in a pickle factory. He had been employed there for a number of years when he came home one day to confess to his wife that he had a tremendous urge to stick his penis into the pickle slicer. His wife suggested that he should see sex therapist to talk about it, but Bill indicated that he'd be too embarrassed. He vowed to overcome the compulsion on his own. One day, a few weeks later, Bill came home absolutely ashen. His wife could see that at once, that something was seriously wrong. "What's wrong, Bill?" she asked. Do you remember that I told you how I had this tremendous urge to put my into the pickle slicer?" "Oh, Bill, you didn't." "Yes, I did." "My God, Bill, what happened?" "I got fired." "No, Bill, I mean what happened with the pickle slicer?" "Oh, she got fired too," the man says. A girl named Mary is in line to go to heaven, and while she's at the pearly gates talking to St. Peter, she hears a drill and then a scream. She asks, "What's that?" St. Peter replies, "Oh, that's just an angel getting her halo fitted." The woman thinks about it and then starts to talk to him again. Then she hears another scream and asks, "What's that?" St. Peter smiles and says, "That's just an angel getting her wings fitted." She says, "F this, I'm going to hell." St. Peter says, "But they raped you and so is you there." She just smiles and says, "At least I have the holes for that." Little Johnny woke up in the middle of the night and went to the bathroom. On the way back to bed, he passed his parents' room. When he looked in, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his daddy. "Hey daddy, what are you doing?" The dad answered, "Playing cards." Little Johnny asked, "Who's your partner?" The dad answered, "Your mom." Little Johnny then passed by his older sister's room. Again, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his sister. "Hey sis, what are you doing?" The sister answered, "Playing cards." Little Johnny asked, "Who's your partner?" She answered, "My boyfriend." A little later, Dad got up and went to the bathroom. As he passed Little Johnny's room, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his son. "What are you doing?" Little Johnny answered, "Playing cards." Dad asked, "Really? Who's your partner?" Little Johnny answered, "You don't need a partner if you have a good hand." Flat-chested young lady went to Dr. Smith for advice about breast enlargements. He told her, "Every day when you get out of the shower, rub the top of your nipples and say, 'Scooby-Dooby-Doo, I want bigger boobies.'" She did this every day faithfully. After several months, it worked. She grew great boobs. One morning, she was running late, and in her rush to leave for work, she realized she had forgotten her morning ritual. At this point, she loved her boobs and didn't want to lose them. So she got up in the middle of the bus and said, "Scooby-Dooby-Doo, I want bigger boobies." A guy sitting nearby asked her, "Do you go to Dr. Smith by any chance?" "Why, yes, I do. How did you know?" The man stood up and cupped his balls and said, "Hickory dickory dock." Tony had been feeling guilty all day long. No matter how much he tried to forget about it, he couldn't. The guilt and sense of shame was overwhelming. But every once in a while, he'd hear that soothing voice trying to reassure him. "Tony, don't worry about it. You're not the first surgeon to sleep with one of your patients, and you won't be the last. And you're single, so just let it go." But invariably, the other voice would bring him back to reality. "Tony, you're a vet surgeon." Couple were having trouble conceiving a child, so they went to a doctor. He examined them and concluded that the problem was one of insufficient penetration. He suggested to the man that they try the rear entry position. The man said, "What is that?" The doctor replied, "Just watch the dogs and do like they do." The man said, "My wife is very shy, and she won't do that." The doctor replied, "Try giving her a glass of wine or two, and she will lose all inhibition." Some while later, the doctor met the man pushing a stroller. "I see it worked," the doctor said. "Yes, it did, doc. But now the problem is my wife is an alcoholic." "How did that happen?" the doctor asked. Well, every time we did it, it took 7 or 8 drinks just to get her out into the front garden.